Bloodshot is on a mission to stop the nanites from getting loose with his new friend Magic. Welcome to the Complete Story Series, where I take trade paperbacks and single issues and break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read each automatically back to you. All alterations to the panel text and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Now this is actually part 2 to a story that we did a while ago, and I'll link you the original down below. But long story short, Bloodshot was finally freed from Project Rising Spirit after a geomancer by the name of K released the nanites from his body the day that she died. That happened in the Valiant storyline. Since then, Bloodshot took the name Ray Garrison and tried to lead a normal life. But after hearing the news about individuals who had been killing people, all with white skin and a red dot on their chest, he knew that he had to come back and finish things. That was part 1. Both will be linked down below. After some time passed, Ray and Magic sit in a diner discussing parts of Ray's past. Magic had read the file on Bloodshot's past and asked, what does he want to hear about it? Because he had a file that explained his history, but due to the fact that the nanites wiped out his memories, he didn't have those memories, and he was scared to look in the file. Ray tells her that he's not sure when, if at all. Really, the only thing he's ever wanted was someone who knew who he was. And for now, her knowing is good enough for him. Later after their meal, Ray walks Magic back to their motel room and says that this is where things end for them. Magic says if it's all about the those who get close to me either get hurt or die thing, she'll be fine. But Ray stops her, telling her, no, you just can't come with. It will be too dangerous. And he drives off. Later though, Magic hears a knock at the door and she opens it to see Ray, and he tells her, if you come with me, I can't promise anything. The more of them that I'll face, the more nanites I'm gonna take back, and the less of me there will be. Magic says that it's a good thing that she read his file. She knows exactly who he really is. And the two of them kiss. The next morning, Ray and Magic set off to find the next person infected by the nanites that have come out of Ray's body. They speak to Ray's blood, directing him where to go, where to turn, and how to get closer. And as the night begins to set, the two of them reach their destination and Ray begins to suit up. As he closes his eyes, he can see that there isn't just one infected in this house. There's 2. Ray tells Magic to stay in the car and he runs towards the house. How could I have been so stupid? If I can sense the nanites, it would only make sense for the other infected to also sense them too, and for them to want to have more nanites. Ray sees a woman outside crying that her son is upstairs, and he charges in, guns drawn. But as he gets closer, he sees that one of those lights went out, and the other just got a bit stronger. He opens the door to the boy's room and discovers that it's too late as he begins to hear the sounds of sirens. Magic runs inside asking what happened, and Ray tells her, there's another. I'm not the only one hunting the nanites anymore. Over in a call center, a man sits in a bathroom washing his face, trying to get over these visions that he's seeing of himself killing everyone. He wipes his eye, telling himself that it isn't real, and as he pulls away, his eyes begin to change red, and his skin begins to turn white. He runs out of the building, ripping his shirt off, showing a red dot in his chest, and a voice calls out to him, telling him, don't be scared. The figure hits the man with a pipe, stating, we're all alike. We have little machines in our blood too. But I'll go ahead and take yours out for you. Back at the motel, Ray wakes up, seeing what just happened, seeing the other hunter's eyes. He struck again. He begins to get dressed, stating that he needs to hurry to get to the next infected. If the hunter gets more nanites than him, he could potentially become stronger than him, and it would only be a matter of time before he came after them. Magic asks, but if he gets more nanites, he would be, and Ray finishes stating, Bloodshot. Truth is, I think I've always been Bloodshot. I've been tricking myself into thinking that I'd become something different. Back at the murdered boy's house, FBI agent Diane Festival arrives on the scene, still one step behind this Ray Garrison. While the other agents are looking for clues, she speaks with the boy's mother, showing her a picture of Ray, asking if he's the one who did this. She says no, and then keeps repeating, off the 406, red eyes, white skin, took her Danny to hell. Elsewhere, Ray and Magic continue heading towards the next infected, and along the way, they stop so that Magic can use the bathroom. As she runs off, Kay appears, stating that she can't believe that Ray left her for that little tramp. Ray tells Kay, at least she's real. Just go ahead and leave me alone. Because ever since Ray's been off on his own, he's been seeing Kay, even though Kay died. She tells him no, and speaking of being alone, she hasn't seen their little friend in a while. Ray asks if she means Bloodsquirt. He kinda thought that Kay and Bloodsquirt were a package deal, and she says that she thought so too, but maybe he found a new friend. Shortly after, Magic returns to the car asking, who is he talking to? And he tells her no one, and the two drive off. The next morning they arrive at their next location, and Ray tells her, this time, stay in the car. I will be back. And he kisses her. Before leaving, he hands her a handgun and walks into the field. After a bit of walking, Ray begins to feel like he's getting closer and closer to the individual, and then he finds a severed hand and realizes he's been tricked. Back at the truck, Magic looks out into the field waiting for Ray to return, when behind her is the farmer missing his hand. Ray runs back out of the field screaming, "Look out!" And just as she turns around, the farmer lunges at her with his pitchfork. Magic manages to fire her gun into the man, but the pitchfork still stabs her side. She gets up trying to shout that she's okay, but the farmer also gets back up and throws her body to the side. He stands over her holding the pitchfork, and then there's 3 gunshots in the back of the farmer's head. The blood begins to fly, and soon they begin to crawl into Magic. Ray asks if she's okay, but as he looks at Magic, he sees her eyes changing red. Over at Diane's office, she reads up on a lead that she received from a CIA agent regarding a case labeled Project Bloodshot. The file shows that all of this came from an earlier project titled Project Dead Dog, and it dates all the way back to 1965. Field testing began in 1971 with the first Bloodshot, and it was a success. And since then, there have been vast improvements to the test subjects due to false memory implants. Agent Hoyt walks in and Diane tells him that he needs to see this, but he stops her stating that they got a hit on the 406. It's a bus route that stops by the motel where Ray Garrison is staying. Except it's not Garrison they're looking for. Who else would need to take a bus somewhere? Magic walks towards him, stating that she doesn't feel very good. She doesn't want this. Ray holds her, thinking about how normally he would kill someone to get the nanites out, but in those cases, the person was far too gone. Maybe, just for once in his life, he can do something without killing someone. So he holds Magic close, telling the nanites to come home. And slowly, Magic's skin begins to change back. Magic pulls away, stating, "You really did it." And then she looks back and doesn't see Ray. She sees Bloodshot. Except she does something he wouldn't expect, and loves him anyway. Back with Diane, her and Hoyt rush back to the motel to find the office destroyed. As they check the building, they find the old woman laying on the ground muttering, "Toby." Outside the motel, Ray begins to close in on the final infected individual, telling himself, "How did I not see this coming? The hunter was so close all along." Ray begins running towards his old room just as Diane and Hoyt are opening the door. As Hoyt opens it, a knife is thrown, hitting him in the chest, and Diane looks up to see Toby, stating bang. Ray bursts in the room with his shotgun, and Diane pulls out her gun, telling him to freeze. Diane asks if he's Bloodshot, and Magic points her gun, stating that she won't let anyone hurt him. Diane then asks if he's Ray Garrison, and if that kid is Toby. He had skin and red eyes like him. Sirens can be heard, and Ray says that he needs to find him. He's the only one who can help him. Still holding her gun, Diane then asks how he helped Donald Chester, Harlan Caddy. What is he gonna do? Kill that kid as well? And Ray looks back at her and tells her, if he's too far gone, then he isn't a kid anymore. Magic tells her that they really need to go, the cops are here, but Diane stops him, stating that she knows all about what he is and what Project Rising Spirit is. Ray informs her that for whatever the reason that Project Rising Spirit did this to him, he seems to be the only one that can handle it. So let him go. Let him try and help the poor boy before it's too late. After a few moments of silence, Diane lowers her gun, telling him to go. He runs off into the woods, feeling the pulse on the nanites, feeling the pulse of Toby. Like they were drawing each other closer and closer. The nanites just want to be one again. And then through the rain, Ray slips and breaks his ankle, and he hears the click of a gun. Toby stands there holding that gun and Bloodskirt, telling him, "Hiya, old chum. Long time no see. Look who's got a sidekick now." Ray says that he knows he's scared, but he's here to help him get better. And Toby tells him, "I'm not scared." And Kay leans over and whispers, "Do it." And Bloodskirt says, "Come on, little buddy. Time to be all you can be." Ray tries to reason with him, but Toby fires, stating, "Actually, I've never felt better in my whole life." The nanites begin to heal Ray as he pops his shoulder back in place, and Bloodskirt taunts him, stating, "Ah, you're a real tough guy, aren't ya? You weren't so tough when you were curled up in your motel room filled with nothing but booze and pills." Ray begins to walk closer, and Toby continues firing, and Ray knows what he has to do before the nanites get too deep. As he gets closer, he grabs a hold of Toby by the neck, and he snaps it. And Bloodskirt tells him, "I never knew you had it in you. You just killed a kid," even though Ray said he wouldn't. The nanites went back inside of Ray, but he holds them off, letting them work inside of Toby, letting them repair him. Once the nanites finish their work in repairing Toby, Ray then pulls them out of him, and Bloodskirt says, "This sucks. I thought you and the boy were gonna be a dream team." Ray then turns to run at Bloodskirt, who reminds them, "We're just projections from the nanites. We aren't real, Ray." But while Bloodskirt continues to tell him that they should hop in the Bloodmobile and get back to work, Diane and Magic start climbing down to where Ray is. Diane looks at Toby, asking, "What did he do?" And Magic asks, "Who are you talking to?" Ray tells her that he's fine, fractured vertebrae. But Bloodskirt says, "You should just kill them all. The woman's a cop. We have to hurry over to Bloodshot Island for the big main event, big buddy." Ray asks him what is Bloodshot Island, and Magic tries to comfort him, telling him that there's no one there, just them. The other agents soon begin to call out to Diane, and Ray tells her he's sorry, but we have to go now. Once the agents arrive, they ask if she saw Ray, and she tells them that he was never there. He's long gone. 2 weeks later, Ray and Magic drive down a street looking for a particular home. And as they stop, Magic tells him that this is it. It's now or never. All he has to do is walk up that door and knock. Ray looks at his file, and then he takes out a lighter and begins to burn it. Magic asks, "What is he?" But he stops her, stating, "I know who I am." Nothing inside of that house is going to change that. And as they drive off, he says, I'm Bloodshot, only because someone has to be. Now this is our Bloodshot story. Next week on Wednesday, we'll be doing the next Harbinger story, wrapping up that arc, and then we'll wrap up Bloodshot and we'll come back to Exo Man of War. I hope you guys enjoy these Valiant stories, because I know I do. Don't forget to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you are interested in these dramatic readings, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll see you next time right here.